city council. Those positions are so important. I really want to advocate for young people to get in those positions and gain that experience. And don't look at like, okay, well, I'm not earning a paycheck, or it's a lot of strife for what I'm getting. You're gaining knowledge in how to build and run a city.
This is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the lively art of conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn, my goodness, and we pass it along. Tune in and listen to us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we give you our story with the lively art of conversation. You know what it is. It's 0730 hours in the morning on that Sunday, and this is me. That's right, me. You know who me is. Dr. Rodney Duckett with the lively art of conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. I got another phenomenal, exciting, amazing show for you here today. But before we do that, I always do what I do. I want to give it out to my underwriters. Thank you, underwriters, for being a part of this show, to keep this show up and running every week. So if you want to be an underwriter, I need you. I need your help. I need your help to keep the show going, because this is the voice of the voiceless, this show right here. So at this time, I'll turn it over to my underwriters.
This is Lavina Sabri with So Natural Catering and Bomb A Lemonade, and you're listening to The Lively Art of Conversation.
Hello. This is Rodney Duckett with the lively art of conversation. As we live, we learn, we earn, and we pass that wisdom along. Join us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we bring to you our story. You bring your story, we give you our story, and our story is how we engage in our community. Everybody has a story, and we're waiting to hear your story. So if you're interested, reach out to us at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com.
Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service, so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemiallc.com. Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch It Tone LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose, with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchitone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email tonyshelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch it, Tone. You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized.
Hello, this is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Heritage Legacy Curators. You're looking for something for your kids to do this summer? Well, reach out to me at Impact Outreach, IMPAC Outreach @gmail.com, because Heritage Legacy Curators is all about collecting oral history. So if you have stories that you would love to pass down to your kids, or if you have a project that maybe your kids need to do as it relates to oral history, bring those family albums out and we'll sit there and we'll sort through those family albums, so that way we can collect those stories and keep those stories within the family, so that way they can be the next speakers to curate your family reunion. We're back with the lively art of conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we will pass it along. You know what time it is. It is that time. You're saying, what time? If you're not reaching for a pen and some paper, or opening up your cell phone for that word of the week. That right, that word of the week. That's right, where we do the word, we do the quote, and we have the questions. That's right. So you ready for the word of the week? shadow. That's right. I said shadow. That's the word of the week. Now you're probably saying shadow. How could that be the word of the week? Well, I'm going to give you an African proverb that I said a few shows back. A wise man plant trees for a shade that he knows he'll never sit upon. That's right. That shade, that shadow that sometimes you allure and you pass along to the next person. Sometimes you will not know who's sitting in your shadow. Sometimes you will not know who's sitting in your shade. So guess what? What are you planning that people be able to take with them into the next generation? That's right. What are you planning where people can take with you in the next generation? So think about this. As we begin to plant something, it begins to grow. Many times if you plant a tree, let's say I plant a tree at the age of 53, I might not be there to see that fruit bear at the age of 67. So again, but my children will inherit the home and inherit the land, and they'll be able to enjoy that actual tree that's bearing that fruit. So I want you guys to think about that. Think about the shadows. Think about the things that you're planting. Think about the shade that people will be resting upon, that you won't even be there to truly understand and be a part of that. All right. So we are here. And I've got with me another exciting guest. And when I say exciting guest, if you know Dr. Rodney Duckett, I don't have a whole lot of friends out there. You know, I am like the pickly pear. You know, either you like me or you don't like me. But when you get to know me, you'll have a lot of respect for me. But in my world that I live in, there's a thing called loyalty that really, really means a lot to me. And loyalty is very important because it's so hard to come by. But this guest that I have here, she's been loyal, not just to me, but to our community. And she's a pickly pear too. You know, either you love her or you hate her. So we have a lot in common. But the one thing that I will give her is she's always spoke her mind. Okay. A lot of times people don't speak their mind. A lot of times people go to other people to speak their mind, but it's guaranteed that this guest that I have in, she will always speak her mind, and I can respect that about her. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring to you my guest this week, Miss Brandy Byrd.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that so much. And you hit it on the mark, absolutely. They gonna tell you, hey, she gonna tell you the truth.
She gonna tell you the truth. And I'll say this. I'll say I'm not gonna call people's names out or do anything like that. I won't do that. But what I will say is sometimes people will reach out to me and say, "Have you seen Brandy's Facebook post?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen Brandy's Facebook post." "Well, you should go listen to it." I said, "No, I'm not going to listen to it. It's not going to change my mind, the person that she is, because when it comes down to the fight, she's ready for the fight." I know people that have reached out to me to tell me something that Brandy has said or something Brandy has done, but guess what? They didn't come out to the fight.
And ask this one thing, one key to what they're saying. Ask them, is it true? Ooh,
that's good. Is it true? Is it true? Man, I probably done burned some bridges today. I don't care. I don't care. I appreciate you, and I thank you for being on this show with me today, the lively art of the conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn, we pass it along. Let's find out a little bit more about Brandy. Tell me something about you.
Okay, well, I'm born and raised out of Houston, Texas. I'm a retired veteran. I've lived in the Killeen area for 17 years, and I've made Killeen my home. My background is in finance and accounting, and I know how I got here as being a political activist and a change maker for the community, but I don't know how I got here, and it's a pretty cool journey. I didn't see it coming.
Well, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. And you're one of our female veterans. And a lot of times when we think of the word veterans, we always think of males, but there's a lot of females that's opened up the doors for us. And I would say my greatest experience that I had in the military was by a female sergeant. And she was very tough on me. And I thought she just didn't like guys, but she was very tough on me because she told me when I went to my next duty station, I wanted to make sure that you would be the leader that I thought you would be. So, and I do appreciate that. So wherever you are, Sergeant Gutierrez, thank you for being tough on me, so, and I really appreciate that. And she was by far a supercharger. She was a great soldier. I learned so much from her, and if you could weigh her against any man in the military, she was a better leader than they were. So, and I know you was at Supercharger, wasn't you?
Oh, absolutely, man. They be in the dust. They be like, I don't know how she do it. She's so little. I be like, come on.
Oh, my goodness. See, okay, now, I got to play devil's advocate on a Sunday. You too quiet to be what do you call him, a historian?
No, I'm actually not. You only to be... what's the word? To be not change maker, but to be one that's exacting and make a powerful change, and to make changes like a ripple effect. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to do that, and you don't have to be in the forefront either for that. Okay. And I me personally, I prefer to be in the back, making things happen and stuff, than to be the person in the front or even ego driven. No, that's not what it's about. It's about, helping your fellow man, but not only that, lifting up others, so they could be, better. I'm all about growth.
Yeah, and I can see that from you, and working with you. We've worked together on a couple of projects. The most notable one was the Clean Parent Advocacy Program that we done during the time that the community needed the community to step up. And I noticed the background work that you was doing was very phenomenal during that time, because we needed voices in that clean area at that time. And again, I will always say how I feel. The people that I thought was going to step up, the school board, they didn't step up. And it was so comforting to know that you hit me up on the text message and say, I'm standing beside you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm just like, well, where are, I am a community leader, but where are the people that's in authority? Where are our community leaders, especially when someone passes away, especially a child? Definitely. That's pivotal,
Definitely. And it's kind of funny because, people wasn't stepping up, but they were speaking out. And I never understood that, and again, I won't use names, but there was a lot of people that spoke out, but they did not attend any of our meetings. They didn't attend any of the think tank sessions that we have, but they actually spoke out. And it really kind of bothered me, because I knew there was a lot of behind the doors things that were happening, but people wasn't out there, boots on ground doing the work that need to be done.
That's why I'm so happy about being a native Houstonian, because they talk so much stuff where I'm from. It's just part of the course, right? But not only are we gonna talk it, we're also gonna be actionable about it. We gonna talk the talk and we gonna walk the walk. So it's no way that I say, hey, I love my community and I'm vocal and I'm in the forefront, and then not do anything about that. I taught I'm a shepherd, right?
Yes.
And being a shepherd of men and women, of course, but men, humans, I have a personal responsibility for that. And so I'm not going to be, like, oh, I'm going to do this, or, oh, I'm going to do that. And, in media about it or anywhere, and then not do anything. That's actually killing someone's heart and soul.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd like to take a moment right now just to give a shout out to everybody, that was a part of it. Miss Casper the Great, Miss Jamie Jones, Miss Welzita Bowie, the social workers that was there, that was a part of it. And then everybody that came out and donated in some shape, form, or fashion. I mean, that I will truly never forget you because of the work that you guys put out. And it was beautiful to see the community come together. And one of the things that someone had told me about what we had put together, the word that it was going to be violent and it was going to be disarray, and it would come down to a fight or someone being shot. I was hearing all this type of stuff, and I was like, when was that supposed to happen?
I don't understand all of And maybe that's me being naive, and maybe me being from a culturally diverse place and that has high standards for how we behave and how we act.
Yes.
I don't understand the bias.
Me neither.
I don't get it. I'm just like, where? And I'm from the inner city. I'm just like, what are you gonna do? What? You know? Or what are you doing? You know? No. So no, and it's not. I wouldn't. If it was bad here, I wouldn't live here 17 years.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I've raised 4 of my kids here. So.
Yeah. And I'll go on record to say this. You know, Bell County is a wonderful place to move to, raise your kids here. The school district, like any other school district, there's always room for improvements that's here, but it's what we make out of it as us as a people that live here. And it's not a black or white thing or a Democratic thing or Republican thing. It is us together, common unity that creates community for us all to work together to turn this into the place that we want our kids to grow up and be and feel safe. So I commend you for the work that you've done. I want to talk about your military service. You know, that's one of the things that a lot of times we don't give people enough accolades on. Tell me about your journey through the military. Okay, well, my dad was a Marine, and I can actually say I didn't even know he was in the military or anything about that. I don't know. I lived in like a little bubble. And so I never wanted to be in the military. And my first glance of it was my oldest sister, or I only have one, my oldest sister, she went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And as a teenager, I went to go visit her. I thought that was the worst place ever. And I'm just like, I'm so good. And I never want to go to that place. So I was dating someone, broke my heart, and I was like, Houston isn't big enough for both of us. And so I'm just like, I'm going to leave. And I wanted to have some sort of independence in what I did. Yeah. And so I chose the military, and I was a finance soldier. And standing in basic training when they give your AIT, when they give you your orders about your first duty station, I was the only one that went to, guess what? Fort Campbell, Kentucky, home of the 101st Air Assault. Screaming Eagles. Were you Air Assault?
Yes.
Oh, my
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
G.I. Jane.
I wouldn't say that, but hey, I make some things happen. So yes, and so that set back then in the 90s. That set my career in the military. And I'm happy that was my first duty station. Yes. Because back then they had a high standard. It was very high. And if I knew it was that high, I don't think I would have made it through basic, because it was worse there than basic training. Oh, wow. So, yeah. My
goodness. There's 3 things in the military, three groups that you don't piss off. The cook, the mechanic, and HR and finance. Like, they will make your life, and anybody that's listening, you know the word I'm about ready to use, so I'm not going to use it. They will make it very difficult on you, okay? So the mere fact that you was there, and I would like to say this, I was always in different line units or sometimes infantry units, but the hardest job that I ever had to work before was in the HR department, the HQ department, as being a training officer. I was selected for that, and I almost lost my mind because that is a nonstop 24/7 job, different type of stress. Give me physical exertion all day long compared to mental exertion and people that are just like off the cuff.
Right. So, all the time. Yes. Yeah. And so like in the world of finance, they always trained us to be soldiers first, like infantry soldiers first. And then you do your mission. Then you do finance. Mm-hmm. So, after you get through doing that 12-mile road march in 3 hours, guess what? You got to go right to the office, hurry up, get you something to eat, and go to the office and talk about, somebody's talking about their no pay due, which is, you want to help them, because why aren't you receiving your pay?
Yeah, definitely. So. Yeah, very, very, very thankful job that you guys, a thankless job, I should say, that you guys have. So I want to talk about right now is Brandy, I guess I don't know if I want to use the word politician or community servant. How would you classify yourself as?
I'm a relationship builder. I'm a community activist. So if I see something wrong in my community, then I'm going to go and talk to those people that I need to talk to get those things corrected, or how can we get on the right foot.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that we were in a community town hall meeting some time ago when they were talking about the school vouchers, and you were very vocal about some things that was given to us dishonestly.
Right. Oh man. Let me tell you. Let me set the scene for y'all. It's a town hall, right? And so you have your Texas House representative there, and he's talking about school vouchers, right? And all it is a money grab. My whole background is finance and accounting. I've studied this stuff, and the reason I even got in that arena is because my family never talked about finances, and I wanted to know how money worked. Guess what? I found out. So when you go and you start, researching and seeing what's actually happening, and you see it on a different level, okay, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a money grab, right? So it's it's taking money from public schools and privatizing public education. That's all it is, right? So this man, he gets up here and he's lying to everybody. And then, of course, you have people like, oh, we're going to go to the town hall, da-da-da-da. So I walk in there. I'm late, but I walk in there. They're sitting there like a captive audience. And they just listen to this man lying. And it's like, what? No, I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as I am. You're going to be that uncomfortable. So guess what? I'm going to, not anything disrespectful, but I'm going to start shouting things to you because you're not answering us. And you're one of the tactics that you'll see, both in all sides of the arena of politicians, they will ignore you. And so, no, you do not want to be ignored, and they need to feel uncomfortable. So when they're sitting there and they're, filing those bills and they're with their buddies and all this other stuff, they need to remember, you know what? I got to go back home and I got to see those people, and I'm uncomfortable there. They need to feel that.
Yeah, definitely. And I commend you. On that. I was in the back, and a few people did not understand your emotions behind it. And I say, people have different ways of displaying their emotions. We know that the truth is not being said, but we're not saying anything. We choose not to, but her emotions says, I'm going to call you out on it. And if you notice, the energy in the room shifted.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, it shifted. Because now people say, you know what, it is not right, and you're not telling the truth, and begin to hold this person hostage. We couldn't even really conduct this meeting. It's kind of crazy, as we grow up and we become adults, what we tell our children is, be honest, tell the truth. But something happens in the realm of politics where that doesn't actually happen. I don't know why, but it doesn't actually happen. So
I want to talk about something that I've been experiencing, and especially as a Black woman, right? So you sit there and you tell the person the truth, right? And they don't believe it, or they get upset because you're telling the truth. I don't understand that, and somehow, and it happens in different arenas, but I don't understand how we have lost our voice. I don't understand it. And then when someone is vocal, you want to beat them up.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and I think Republican Lindsey Graham had said this, and this is probably one of the most truthful things that has come out of his mouth. They'll forgive us. They'll forget. They'll move on. You hear that all the time. And in a sense, that's what people do. I mean, they're fiery about something, and then all of a sudden it dies down, and then we just keep moving forward, with that. And you see that a lot as it relates to the realm of the political work. And
that's why it makes so many people upset, because I don't move on.
I know that's why
I don't move on.
Me neither.
Like, this is a problem. I'm a disabled veteran, if I give energy, and I'm older, if I give energy towards something, then that means something is wrong.
Yes.
Something is really wrong.
Yeah. And this is kind of weird. My family is a little odd. I have people that are liberals, Republicans, Democrats. Myself, I'm an independent, and we debate all the time about politics, and we get into some pretty fiery debates. But at the end of the day, we're like all cool. At the end of the day, like it's all cool. And sometimes I'll get one of my cousins or a friend of the family that was a part of the debate. They say, "Oh man, I finally seen what you were talking about that healthcare. It really makes sense. Why would they do something like that? I don't know. That's your party. You need to go ask them. So."
But it's not even, for me, it's not even that, because I respect my brothers and my sisters, across all spectrums.
Yeah.
We need all those voices and those different experiences, that different set of eyeballs. Like I don't want one of anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I just want people to be able to be educated and make great decisions about their lives.
Awesome. This is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Lively Art of Conversation. We'll be right back.
Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch Your Tone, LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose, with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchyourtone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email ToniShelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch your tone. You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized. Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service, so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemiallc.com.
This is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Heritage Legacy Curators. You're looking for something for your kids to do this summer? Well, reach out to me at Impact Outreach, IMPAC outreach@gmail.com, because Heritage Legacy Curators is all about collecting oral history. So if you have stories that you would love to pass down to your kids, or if you have a project that maybe your kids need to do as it relates to oral history, bring those family albums out and we'll sit there and we'll sort through those family albums, so that way we can collect those stories and keep those stories within the family, so that way they can be the next speakers to curate your family reunion. We're back with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. And I am here with the lovely, talented, ambitious, and great leader, Brandy Byrd. Brandy Byrd, we talked a little bit about your military career, and then we dabbled a little bit in the political world. Your time being as you say, a relationship builder, and then also as a leader in the military, what would you say you have earned along the way or gained along the way? Any experiences that has made you be a better leader or a better relationship builder?
Respect.
Wow. Okay. Respect.
Respect. Okay. Giving grace, listening, giving time to others, giving space, holding space for others. It's really nice when you can pick up the phone and people actually show up for you.
Yeah.
So that's that part.
Yeah, definitely. And you, along the lines of your political journey, you ran for a specific office a year ago?
Correct. I ran for tax assessor collector for Bell County.
Oh, explain to people, because a lot of times we have these seats and people don't know what these seats are. What does that seat do?
It's so funny that you asked that. So tax assessor collector in Bell County is very peculiar, and in that all they deal with is vehicle registration and a 4 different funds, and that's really it.
Okay,
that's it. It's
okay.
that easy. It's all that simple. And they sit on a tax district, on the tax advisory board or something like that. But yeah, it's yes.
And what made you run for that spot?
Well, a woman came down from Austin, and part of it, you don't have a lot of mentorship here as far as like political seats and stuff like that. So nobody knows how it all works, right? And so she was doing some mentoring, and she listed all the seats that were coming open in Bell County. And I just happened to be in that meeting. I was not supposed to be there. And so in that meeting, nobody wanted to do anything. I kid you not. Nobody wanted to run for anything. And I looked and I was like, man, this is horrible. But not only that, especially the voting record, but not only that, nobody wants to do anything. Well, let me be. If I'm not anything else, I'm going to be a catalyst for positive change. I can run for that seat right there because of my background. Everything that I've done, doing that is easy. So that's why I ran for tax assessor collect, and I wanted more people to vote.
What was the qualifications for that position?
Live in this area for 6 months.
Really?
Yes.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you think as someone that deals with taxes, you have to have some financial background or something?
No.
Really?
No, it's
Wow.
all open. And I want to say this, you hear this term in your history classes, carpetbaggers. You actually have people here, even now, they're running for a Republican seat, but that are actually carpetbaggers that see like, hey, these people aren't doing anything in this area. Let me come there, live there 6 months, check the block, and run for these seats. For a paycheck or power, control, whatever it is, that ego that floats their boat. But yes, they do that here. You have carpetbaggers here.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm still stuck. I would think you would need a financial background when you're dealing with tax appraisals. I mean, like that is wow. Oh my goodness. Man, so let's talk before we transition on. This is something good because this is an educational moment right now. What are some more seats that you think that people don't know about that they can actually run for?
Commissioner's Court. Oh my God.
Okay.
So Commissioner's Court is where it's not like regular court. It's not like that. Commissioner Court is the heart of the county and is where all the money starts, and that's where the power base is. And so you don't have to actually be a judge. It's an elected position, 6 months in, 6 months living here, and that's it. Commissioner's Court.
The
other seats is, again, the mayors. I know that people don't get paid for these positions. I think city council and the mayor should get paid, but city council, those positions are so important. I really want to advocate for young people to get in those positions and gain that experience, and don't look at like, okay, well, I'm not earning a paycheck, or it's a lot of strife for what I'm getting. You're gaining knowledge in how to build and run a city, school board, and then it's these other things that's in between, like the water district. Your water,
okay. Yeah.
Water is the number one resource right now. I don't know if y'all know, but water, the water board, that's that, and it's other little boards in between that most people don't even know about. But to be civically engaged and get active in that, because the one thing I want everybody to know, especially young people, and I'm telling my age, I'm 50 years old. Young people, everything you see out there that you can feel, touch, breathe, that's all yours. That's all yours. And I don't care how you identify politically, you have to tell someone where to put the money. We live in a capitalist nation. It's money there. You have to direct where the money's gonna go. And I had to say it, if you don't vote, people are gonna put it in places that it don't need to go.
Wow, that is, and I will echo this sentiment. You have to be involved. A lot of times people are like, well, Rodney, what you involved with? For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been involved in Temple, Texas, with the Emergency Service Advisory Board. And that's a part of the EMS system that's here in Temple, but also Bell County, because I'm concerned with my experience in healthcare field, making sure that we do have no disparity across the board where fire and EMS is going, making sure that they can make it to the east side of Temple or the west side of Temple in an appropriate amount of time, or where they build the next fire station. Sometimes people don't think that's very important, but it is when you're having a stroke or a heart attack, or there's a multiple vehicle accident that's there. So please, whatever your strength is, do it. If you don't know, learn about it, and then just join it and figure it out as you go, because I feel a lot of people figure things out as they go.
Yeah. Right. And then I'm 911. When you call 911 in Bell County, it goes to a switchboard.
Yes.
And it's not in each individual city. It's a shared resource.
It is.
So most people don't know that, or that about that board you talked about. Didn't even know that I knew, but didn't even know that exists, or or that is other things that goes on in the county that we can't take for granted, and we need everyone's participation, and everyone can help in some sort of way and fashion.
Yeah, definitely. And she's saying it's right. If you ever get a chance to take a tour of Bell County comms, you should, communication, because it is amazing how it is. And it's amazing to see the difference between, like, Temple is all text, whereas Killeen is not text. And what it means by text is they can dispatch ambulances 90 seconds faster than they can over in Killeen, based off of a text message and computer that says everything digitally, and then they can also go in if they need to and do it the manual way. So you begin to see these differences between the actual systems itself, how they can pinpoint exactly where everything is at. And then on top of that, even the drone system that they have, the drone system literally have found people that has been lost. Literally, these drones are like amazing. So, and that's your money. This is your money going into it. So you should know where your money is going to. So, and I'm the only person of color, of course, that sits there. So, we need more people to come sit there.
Seriously, like for instance, remember I say everybody can do something. If you like art, right? They have a whole art board. Yes. That that is tied into, for instance, Killeen. You receive money just from having an art board, and all these other things that's tied in that most people don't even know about. But it's so much more than just art. But how do you make your community, beautiful and livable, and tourists? That's what it is. The tourist board. Part of the art board is tied into tourist money. Most people don't know that. Yeah.
For years, Impact Outreach received a what's called a Killeen's Art Commission grant, and that Art Commission helps us kind of subsidize our event, where we were able to bring in artists from pretty much all over the world. I brought in artists from Canada and Africa and also Mexico to come perform, and then that money's also pumped back in to the city itself. The videographer that I have here, Miss Lavina, has worked with her for years. That money has pumped back into her. It's also pumped into local artists that we have. All the kids that you see that performs at the event, guess what? They're paid from that Art Commission grant. So that money pretty much stays here.
Right. And you want your money recircling back around in your community, for sure.
Definitely. As we transition a little bit, these are questions that I typically ask people on the show. If you can go back to your younger self and say, younger self, if I could do it all over again, what would I change about my journey?
I would be more focused.
Ooh, focus. Okay. Focus pops up again.
And not let people deter me from off of my path.
Yes.
That's the one thing. And I wish I had a mentor growing up, or somebody that really like sold into me and just like, no, you out left field, come on back. Or like, what is it that you truly want to do? And to sow into me like that, that's what I would change.
Yeah. Mentors are very, very important, and I would say I've been blessed, especially when I was younger, to have a lot of mentors around me. I think a lot of old men just kind of adopted me, and maybe because I was, coachable at the time, and they really kind of guided me into the path, that direction I need to go. And I'm very grateful. And sometimes, if you really know me, you always hear me, say about these older men, like, thank you, because they made me into a man. Now, I still make a whole bunch of mistakes, but the one thing that they've taught me to be is accountable for myself and my mistakes. So because as a man, you're going to make a ton of mistakes. So, but mentorship is very important. And you heard it right here. If you have something out there that people can grow from, you need to plant it in them, and you need to be a part of the cultivation of that, those young minds, or even older minds that's out there that could grow from it. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. So this is Rodney Ducker with the Lively Art of Conversation, and we'll be right back after these commercials. Hey, we're back with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. If you have a show, if you want to be an underwriter, or if you have a commercial, please reach out to us at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com. That's right, livelyartofconversation@gmail.com. And we're here with the wonderful, lovely, and great leader she is, Miss Brandy Byrd. Brandy Byrd, I would like to ask you this question. What would you say avocation looks like for you in your community? Because you do a lot of avocation. You advocate for those people that's there. What is the platform of that, and how does that look? Hopefully I'm making sense with that question.
No, absolutely. So what it is it's old fashioned. It goes back to, how the Black community used to be raised. So I knew my principal, my grandmother knew my principal, and it was nothing for her to, call and say, hey, Mr. Stringfellow, blah, 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 blah. So what it looks like is me being able to go to one of our student board members and saying, well, and I'm going to use an example. So, hi, Miss Adams, it's this issue that's happening. Can we talk about it? Mm-hmm. Or how does this work? I'll give you a great example of this. Being able to pick up the phone and talk to someone in a professional manner, being polite, being open, and not like, no. So for instance, we're getting ready to have elections in November with the constitutional amendments propositions, right? Mm-hmm. So the first one, and I do a series about it, breaking it all down, what it really means. Texas Tech, they're getting an endowment. And why is just this one particular junior college getting $850 million? So it didn't make sense. So guess what I did? And this is from my mom. Pick up the phone and call. So I looked for the leadership, the chancellor, called that office, and then they had a vice chancellor call me back. And because I'm in finance, I know the questions to ask. Mm-hmm. And he broke it all down for me. I didn't know that Texas State, Texas College is a state agency. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
That college is a state agency. And because it's a state agency, the funding that's available for regular junior colleges is not available for them. But also they do their funding is different. It's outcomes based on the employment of their students. So, but being able to pick up the phone, have relationships with people that are in authority, being able to just talk. They need to hear your voice. Call, pick up the phone. Mm-hmm. Don't understand something, ask. They're doing a good job, tell them. You don't know what to ask? Hey, ask them what's going on out there. Just pick up the phone and talk to the different people that are in leadership positions. Call and talk to them.
So when I was traveling with the boys to Washington D.C. We went to D.C. Last year, October timeframe. Had a wonderful time in D.C. The boys got to, well, John Carter didn't show up. So if you're hearing me, you didn't show up, John Carter, but Lloyd Doggett was there. And the boys got to talk to him, went to the senator's office. Of course, they wasn't there as well. But the boys got to travel D.C. and got to see D.C. And the one thing that the boys said when we were there, the 4 little black boys we were there, they seen a whole bunch of red hats that were there. And they were younger kids, close to their age demographics and things like that, and they were very, very well in tune into the political game. I think my boys are pretty political savvy within their own right, but it was a different machine that was there. So the question that I pose to you is, how do we get our youth involved early in the politics? Because the schools don't allow them to do the political thing, well, depending on what school you go to. So how do we get our kids involved in the political realm?
Well, first, let me say I'm old enough to remember when they pulled civics out of high school.
Yes.
So, not calling, but talking to the people that are in politics and being able to observe and ask questions. It starts with, your county chairs. But let me tell you, politics is not what y'all think it is at all. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing. Other times it's just downright ugly. Because can I curse?
Well,
no?
It is Sunday.
Okay,
so.
I'm not gonna curse. But I have this saying, and I love people. And so with this saying, people are people, and sometimes they're downright pooey. Yes.
We can take that.
And so, but having those people in the community, because you have to go to the right, you want to go to the shepherds and be able to ask them questions and shadow with your kid. How does all this work? And if that person isn't the right person, go to the next one and get that knowledge. Well, how does call the commissioners, go, hey, secretary or, Commissioner Blackburn, how does all this work? Start with the money. If you know where the money is at, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I never thought about that myself too. Just calling the commissioners court and see if Blackburn would like to be a part of Impact Outreach and what we're doing. I know Louis Minor has come in before, even at the detention center back in the day, and he's talked to the kids or seen some of the programs that the kids have been in, but it's not very open. A lot of those guys, they run from me sometimes when they see me coming, and I'm probably the most harmless person they ever find, but they don't think that way. So for yourself, I think there's a shift, because I wanted to say, how do we get women involved in politics? But all I see is women involved in politics these days. How do we get our men back involved in politics? Because there's a lot of men that literally have pushed away from the political thing. They don't want to have anything to do with it, and they just vote just to vote. How do we bring them back?
Well, first of all, you have to have a platform to educate. So once you start learning and being educated on the different things that's out there, how I started was a person that was then my friend. She was on Facebook, and then she was saying, hey, we need greeters, and she looked like she was in desperation. And I was at home, and I was just chilling, not doing anything, just, drinking some lemonade. And I said, you know what, I'm actually great at that. Let me go help. Mm-hmm. So little by little, I saw the lack in the community, and I'm like, wow, this is really a need, and I couldn't turn away. Mm-hmm. So once you realize the need that's there, how can you turn away? I don't understand that. So
yeah, definitely. So as we get to the end of our show, we do the pass it along thing. What information would you like to pass along to anybody that's out there listening? Anything that's inspirational, heartfelt, or just anything that deals with community service? What would you like to pass along?
Everything. Well, life, right? Life in America is not all about the money. It's about the people. And what are you doing to grow the people and invest in the youth and your leaders? What are you doing to make it better? than what it was when you start entering into your life. Just make it better.
Yeah, it does. It does. They say service to the many leads to greatness. And I'm a true believer in if we service the people the right way, we're only due to have the greatness that we shall have. Even having those open conversations with my own kids about the importance of service to us as a people, as a nation, do unto others, as you have them do unto you, just being a part of that whole concept of, karma. If I'm doing great things are bound to happen. That doesn't mean necessarily bad things won't happen. But again, if you put out good works, you get good works back. And I truly believe that. So
right. And I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
Money's not worth anything without the people.
That's true. That is true. that is absolutely true. Oh my goodness. So if anybody's interested in following Miss Brandy Byrd, or if any projects that you have going on, how do they get in contact with you?
They could just call. My phone number's out there. Remember, I'm a whole politician. So 254-818-8252. My email is B as in boy, LL Bird, BYRD @gmail.com. But also I'm on all the social medias. Brandy L.L. Bird, Brandy with a Y. Yeah, you'll find me.
Awesome. Is there any political aspirations for you? What's going on?
So I've jumped up a couple of levels, and so now you never remember the journey will get you the journey, right? Enjoy the journey, learn all the skills, all the trades, because you don't know where your end point is going to be. With that, I'm starting an organization. I have started an organization. It's called Bell County Votes. And what it's about is about educating, register, and getting people out to vote. Those three things. Because our voting history here is so low. It's so embarrassing. I'm not even going to say it. It's like 3%. But it's so bad. Wow. It's so bad. And so I just need people to be educated about the different issues, the different politicians, get all up in their faces, and not in a mean, hateful way, but ask them questions. See if they call you back. See if they respond to your emails, and see what they have to say, and watch what they do. But education, and there's a civics component in there, education, registering you to vote, but not only that, because a lot of people are registered to vote here, but they don't go vote. I don't understand it. And we need you. We need you.
Yeah. I'd like to end with this. What is the biggest misconception people have about Brandy Byrd, and can you squash that?
Let's see. I don't. That does maybe that I'm hard to work with.
Okay,
that's a good one. I'm hard to work with. And actually, you worked with me, and you was surprised, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a problem whatsoever. I mean,
it was very pleasant.
Very pleasant. We were late nights. We're talking to each other on the phone, going over things. I never had an issue with you. You was, honest. I mean, you kept me on my toes. Like it wasn't a power. Sometimes you have a power struggle with people. It was just like, I'll do this, you do that. No, let's switch and do this. I mean, it was beautiful. So yeah.
I'm not difficult to work with. I'm actually very nice. And if you ask, and it's so missing in our society that if you ask me something, I'm not gonna be ugly with it or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you that truth.
Definitely.
So, and it's in love. That's it. And how can we work through it?
It is. It's in love. And it's kind of funny as we begin to close, though. It's kind of funny, people were asking me a question the other day about Jasmine Crockett. Like, how do I feel about Jasmine Crockett? And I says, if you read her pedigree, she's in her right to say whatever she wants to say. I mean, that pedigree is impeccable. And she is a winner, so... believe it or not, everybody liked Muhammad Ali because he could predict the rounds and he had a gift for gab. And there's been a lot of debate. The president of the United States has a gift for gab, as they say. So I think she's within her right, based off of everything that she has earned at the age that she has earned it, to be able to speak the way that she speaks, and because you're dealing with verbal jousting. So again, sometimes I don't agree with everything people say, but at the end of the day, if it's working for her in the party, let it work for her in the party. So
right. Let me say this. I don't understand why everyone wants to control what a black woman does.
Well, that's a different conversation on a different show. But I will say, as it relates to black women in general, anytime you want to win anything, you join the hymns of a black woman. And you can just go look at the feminine movement right now. It wouldn't exist without black women. So, I'm just saying, because some of the greatest scholars and writers of our time have became feminist, and that's how that movement grew wings.
And I want to empower our black women. No matter what you do, it's gonna be wrong. So you might as well do it up. Do it up. Yes. Tell Miss Byrd sent you.
Definitely. Well, you heard it right here on the Lively Art of Conversation. So if you're black women, speak up. Say it loud. I'm blacking up. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, you are black and you're proud. Hey, I appreciate you, Miss Brandy Byrd, for being a part of this show. Like I said, I will go on record to say I enjoyed the time that we have worked together. And if you ever need me to do anything, even if it's picking up trash at the end of your events, just give me a holler. All right?
Dang, I appreciate that. We're going to be in there picking up together.
All right, this is Dr. Rodney Duncan with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn, we pass it along. We'll see you next week.